Oh. Hey, everybody.
Hey, we were on mute.
We figured this thing out.
Yeah, we'll get it.
We'll get it. Yeah.
So as I was saying, happy, blessed, and wonderfully all that birthday.
Thank
so let's
you.
give it up to my girl Carla. It's her birthday today.
Yes, I'm so excited. So thank you. And people are joining us. So thank you so much. My sister's online. So thank you. She was the first to say happy birthday on the live stream.
Wonderful.
We also got Renee joining us. And so thank you. And we hope that people will continue to come in on our first live broadcast. Doing our podcast. Yeah, this is exciting. So I'm so excited about season 2. This is a big deal because it's not only my birthday, but the Chair of Chronicles is back.
We're back, baby. Yes. So
we are back.
Yes. Join us, subscribe. Let other people know we are back.
Yes, we are here. So LA said it. Like, share this broadcast. Let other people know we're on. We're going to have a great live talk today.
Yes. So what are we talking about?
So I have been talking about words, right? I've been, if you follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, you will see different things that I'm posting. And I did one up for a teaser for today.
Okay.
And it's about the power of words. Power of words. And I've already been getting some great feedback. So we hope that you will continue to provide some comments and interact with us. Give us your thoughts because this is an important topic about communication overall.
Oh my goodness. And what an on-time subject to talk about, especially with what we're seeing happening today, how the words can either build someone up
or tear somebody down.
All the way down.
And guess what? Your words can also get you fired.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're in such a delicate, I think, time period in America.
We are.
And not to say not throughout the world, but because we live here, there's just so many things that we are seeing daily and consistently about people losing their jobs because of their words, whether it be in writing or whether it be something verbally that was communicated.
Right.
And so communication is a huge topic that we're going to start to unpack. And guess what? We're not going to get it all done today.
Not today.
I'm positive we're going to have this going on. And I already have someone who said, you know what? I want to join in and share some thoughts because they've been impacted by words that some of their loved ones have said to them.
Wow. It's big. Communication is big. And it's something that it's a continual learning process for all of us. So again, this is not a one-stop shop.
Nope.
It's a continual blueprint on how we can better communicate, and not just with each other, but even the things that we say to ourselves. About ourselves.
Yes.
It's big.
So let's start to dig in. All right. Okay. So I want to start here because I want to start with words first and just talk about just words themselves.
Right.
What does it mean? And if you think about it, the 26 alphabets, the letters of the alphabet,
right?
26 letters controls and manages every single word.
That's big.
That we have.
26 letters. That's it.
26 letters. That's it. And it's all about the arrangement, the composition, the vowels, the consonants, the order of those letters gives so much meaning and creation of life and things, our perception, how we see things, how we view things. It creates 26 letters. 26, that's it. 26 letters are so powerful that they create an enormous amount of words.
Right.
Volume of words.
Yeah. And it's huge. I mean, when you break it down like that, we don't think about it. We know
we don't think about it.
But we don't think about those 26 words.
26 letters. That's it. Now think about this. Growing up, like in my house, we had like a dictionary, the Webster dictionary. It was red, but guess how thick it was? It was like this thick.
Yes. Yeah.
And so think about all of those words that are in the dictionary, and they're steadily adding, because we got Ebonics for those of us who that's a whole nother dictionary, whole nother language, and we're not even tapping into like other types of languages for different cultures and other places of the world. We're just talking about right here with the English language, knowing that there's so many words and how much life that those words actually create. So I just wanted us to think about that, because thinking about that red dictionary, Webster, and all of those words, and thinking about what those words create and the impact that they have on us. The impact that they have on you, the impact they have on me, and who's using those words, and how do they use it? Because tone
is everything.
It's everything. and it's so funny, even looking at an email or a text. Plain words, if someone says them, can have a different impact than what we read, because sometimes it gets filtered through how emotionally we are that day.
Right. And this is why we have to be careful, even social media, with how words just on social media can take a simple situation and blow it out of the water. And it can have devastating consequences. So devastating. Oh wow! I mean, it's big.
It's big. It is big.
Yeah.
So we're so I wanted to kind of lay that foundation about words, and also just get us to really understand how powerful words, how they create, and they're formed from our dreams, from our thoughts, from our ideas. We think a lot of things first, we do. And then we start to speak those things. And anyone who talks to like a business owner or someone who dreamed about something big and it came to fruition, oftentimes not only thought it, but started to speak it. Because we normally speak what we think. Get in an argument with somebody.
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Right. The first thing that comes out their mouth is whatever was on their mind. And sometimes it's not always a good thought. So we have to be mindful, and we also have to be so disciplined, because you can think something and then say something different if you exercise discipline.
Right. And I think it definitely is about us being aware, because sometimes we speak off the cuff, and then we realize that maybe I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said it that way, or maybe I should have used a different word. And again, it's not always a negative connotation. Let's just be clear. Words can uplift and all of that. But even in those situations, knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it.
That's right. And what I posted was, words have the ability to either create life or death. And we have to be very careful, because I believe that the words that we speak start to take shape and form in the universe. And as they do that, we have to be conscious about whether we're bringing life into the world, into our consciousness, into our being, into our space, into our environment, or whether we're bringing death. So we're talking about the extremes of good, bad. We're talking extremes, positive, negative, right? A positive impact, a negative impact. And so all of those things are associated with words.
And our words are also, I believe, sometimes define our character.
They do.
So be very careful of I think we've all have come across the curmudgeon, something is always wrong. It's never a good day. So then you start to look at that person and like, they're never happy.
They're never happy.
And they could be.
They could be, but they never speak it. And so it shapes, again, perceptions and how we see people, and just based on the words. So not only does it define the character, but it's a mirror, many cases, of your character. So I know, so those who are football fans, there's been a lot of conversation about the previous now head coach of the Raiders. And a lot of information was just coming out. And I was wondering whether it was just like a blip in time, or whether it was a representation of their character. Things that happen consistently over a period of time that establishes pattern, that establishes their belief system. And when you kind of see this consistency over time, it starts to show a mirror, of their character.
Because if it's a one-off thing where you said something 20 years ago, somebody taped it and it's out there, and and now everybody wants to condemn you. But what has your pattern of conversation been since then?
That's right.
And I think what happens is we see those two mirrors now.
Right.
So we see the consistency. These things have happened over time. Okay, well, let it go. They didn't mean it. It happened at the time.
Yes.
Or is this, like you said, that pattern? This is
Right.
normal speech for you, or
Right.
is it that person that said something 20 years ago that someone got a hold of and decided to release it 30 years later, and now everybody's looking at that person, and they literally can't even recover. They can't, even if they say, well, look at what I'm doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Look at what I'm doing now. So let's see who's in. We have people that have joined us. So we're so happy. We're getting some likes. We're getting some hearts. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining in. I see you. So thank you. My good friend, Dot Riley, she was in on yesterday when we did our teaser. So I'm so glad that you joined us as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
We appreciate the support and all of the love. My godmother, she just stepped in too. So thank you for joining us. And listen, let us know your comments and thoughts about what we're talking about as it relates to, the power of words. And I want to give this example, right? Sometimes people use their expression, I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll be there in a few minutes. Words, same words, have different meanings to people.
Right.
Now, if I tell you I'll see you in 5 minutes, I literally, for the most part, mean I'll be there in 5 minutes. Now, sometimes you got those friends that say, I see you in 5 minutes, 30 minutes come, an hour comes, I'm almost there. And sometimes for some folks, it's not literal. And so that's what I mean about the power of words and what they mean. They mean different things to people. So we have to be careful, right? Because if you tell me you're going to be somewhere in 5 minutes to meet me, I have the expectation.
Right.
But guess what? Over time, if I learn that you say that and you don't deliver, then my whole thought process is changing. And if you tell me you're going to be there in 5 minutes and you're one of those ones who takes an hour, 2 hours, then I know.
And just be honest and just say, I'll be there in an hour. I'll be there in a half an hour.
Yeah. And so different expressions, different words are interpreted and lived very differently from people from person to person.
Absolutely. And one of the phrases, one of the words I used to use is, I love you to death.
Ooh, listen, I got beat up by one of my mentors about saying that. I love you to death. And it's such a common expression.
Yes.
And I get it. I mean, I think there's no harm intent.
Right.
But we do need to be careful about how we throw that out there. Right. Because we don't want death to come quickly by speaking that out. So saying, I love you to life. Right. I've heard that change.
Yes.
A lot of people have started to change and say, I love you to life.
Yeah.
Wow. So that it creates like longevity in one's life, that you're going to love them continuously while they are living.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Common expression.
Yeah. Another good one that we do when we run into someone that we haven't seen in a long time. They're not, we're not enemies, but we're not best friends. Or I'm going to call you. We need to call each other and get together later. When you walk away, you have no intentions of calling that person.
Yeah, I don't like.
And so why not just say it's nice to see you.
So if someone says that to me, and I know like sometimes we're very busy in our lives, I'll be like, let's really do it. Like, okay, so let's get a date now. Let's sync our calendars. What time, what day works best. Right. And I did that not too long ago with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in such a long time. And I did, honestly, I wanted to connect. And I said, we got to get together. And she was like, yeah. I said, okay, what day works best for you? Right. And not too long ago, we ended up getting together and reconnecting. So it was really great. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
But only say it if you mean it. It's okay if you run into someone, you don't have to pretend and say, let's get together. Just say, it was great talking to you. It was good seeing you.
Right.
No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. So we really need to be more intentional, I think is my thing about our words that we use to say a lot of different things in every area, whether it's with your partner or family that you care about, whether it's on your job, being careful about what you say there and what you speak into the atmosphere there, and just in general. So when you spoke earlier, you talked about like even what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do when I'm working with many of my clients and friends, I'm a big believer in affirmations.
Very good.
Do you believe in affirmations? If you believe in affirmations, listen, let me see you in the comments, raise your hand emoji, let me know, high five, because I believe what we speak to ourselves is critical.
It's big.
You know that movie, The Help?
Yes.
You is smart. Listen, I is smart. I know that grammar ain't right, but I is smart.
Right.
I is intelligent, right?
Right.
We have to tell ourselves like what we are, because some kids grow up in homes, you're just like your daddy. You just like your mama. And they never create their own identity.
Right.
And I work with people all the time. And usually the first thing I do is go back to their childhood, because many times our script that we've heard over and over has to be rewritten.
And that's, oh my gosh, it can be so traumatic.
It can be,
because you hear people say, I grew up in a home where I wasn't expected to do this, or I was told that I'll never amount to anything.
Right.
I'll always be like so and so. And what happens is that person almost lives up to that.
Absolutely.
Negative speaking.
That negative speaking. And in some cases, they'll either live up to it, and in other cases, they can remove themselves from it and exceed beyond it.
Right.
And then there's some in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's really up to that individual. But I think we still must be careful, because we can drive people to be the very thing we do not want them to be, because of the words that we speak.
And it's that is home. That's a nugget. That's a nugget. Get your paper out, write this down.
Listen. Let me see what you're saying out there.
Yes.
Listen, let me hear you. Let me see what you're saying about what is going on with the power of words and how they can have such an impact, particularly when we're speaking to our children.
Yeah.
Speaking to our children. And go back and remember what was spoken to you.
Right.
And let us know, did that build you up or did it tear you down?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, once you get torn down by words, it takes a while to get built back up again.
It does. And when you think about a child that's in school and hearing a teacher say, "Oh, you can't do that," and I've had people tell me that, and I mean, I've never experienced a teacher doing that. I've always had teachers that encouraged me, and so I couldn't even imagine a child. This is a person that they're looking to learn from, and they're telling them, "Oh, you can't do that." If that's not reinforced at home, then I can be anything I want to be.
That's right. That's right.
Then when you hear that, you're like, you can say what you want, teacher. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my grandma said that I can grow up to be anything I want to be. Anything.
Listen, Dot just said power in the tongue. That's right. Yes. Gina, yes, thank you for joining us, Gina. Yes. There's power in our words. So we've got to be very careful about what we speak. My husband is watching too. He said, always. Listen. He's probably telling that to me. Watch your words. Watch what you say, babe. Watch what you say. Watch what you say. Right. And so those affirmations about telling ourselves who we are, who we are to be in our future, and creating our own identity is important. Because if we're not careful, we'll allow other people to speak an attachment to us that should not be.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want nobody else's personality. I don't want anybody. Listen, I know genetically we already have some things of our parents in our DNA. Right. I get it. Yes. I'm fortunate to have wonderful parents, and I got some good DNA up in here. I do.
Absolutely.
I was fortunate. But I tell you, there are some people who didn't have that. And so the things that they're telling themselves is a repeat and a rewind of the negative things that they've heard.
Yeah. Yeah. And these things are generational.
It could be a generational blessing or a generational curse.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so we do have to be so mindful of what we repeat, what we speak, what we're putting it out there, because we always want it to build up, lift up, and bring life.
Yes.
Not life in a harmful way.
Right.
But life in a joyous, peaceful way. Right. We gotta be careful. Right. And sometimes we're good at doing it for others.
But not for
ourselves.
Not ourselves. Yeah.
And not ourselves.
This is true. And I mean, let's just be clear. In the last couple of years, we have seen what words can do. And even if it wasn't directed at you, at the individual, just it being out in the atmosphere and watching it and hearing it and reading it, I don't know, it made me feel so heavy, because I know that, we as humans, yeah, we're flawed, but we're not so nasty that everything that comes out of our mouth has to be against someone or attacking someone, and it feels good to be on the other side of that.
Yes, that's right.
Because when it's done on a national stage where somebody is given carte blanche to say whatever they want, it weighs us down.
It weighs you down, and it's unbelievable to the level of influence, right, that a person has, and how people will hang on to the very words coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Listen.
True.
People that walk in leadership, walk in positions of authority and power, people hang on to your words. So you must be careful to make sure that your impact is a positive one and not a negative one. One that's not stirring up war, but one that's stirring up peace.
That's it.
One that's not stirring up havoc, right?
That's it.
But one that is placing calm out there and bringing people together in a joyous way. And so it's unbelievable how people in powers of position and authority and in leadership, what they do with that power, the power of their words,
can be very, very detrimental.
Listen,
or it can take us to a whole different level of excellence.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And it really is about communication, and especially in the workplace. How we communicate with one another can take a project and shoot for the moon.
Yes.
Or it can actually take that individual who feels marginalized, who feel like what they say doesn't matter or count, and have them off thinking, it's time for me to leave.
Right. That's right. That's right. It's so, amazing how our speech, whether it's the words in writing or the words in verbally, get communicated, and how it just transcends your energy, your attitude, the way you behave in a certain place, how you entreat someone else because of some words you heard. Let's just say I heard something bad about LA, and now when I see her and meet her, I'm like, all because of something that someone planted in my mind that was words, right? That now I filter, and now I respond to the words that I heard. So what we have to understand, we actually respond to what we hear.
Right.
So what are you hearing?
Yeah. Think about it. What are you hearing?
Yes. So we have to speak life with our words. We have to be just as mindful to lift up. And if there's something that needs to be addressed,
I was getting ready to say,
there are ways to do it that still keep people whole.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be, perhaps some emotions that get displayed.
Right.
Of course, because we're human.
Right.
But, the common phrase, constructive criticism. Right. And then sometimes setting the tone in the right way. And I know we talked about this because you said you don't like nobody to say this is a difficult conversation.
Yeah.
Right. But you can say, I have something really important to share with you. I may be very nervous about sharing it. So say that, because sometimes that'll set the tone so that person will calm down. And then you can have an appropriate exchange.
Right.
So we have to be so careful with that.
And there are tools. There's tools, like you said, for different situations. When you're sending or you receive an email and you've read through it and automatically it sets your hair on end and you're like, did they just try to tell me off in an email? And our first, I know my first go-to is type a response back. But what I say, pause. But what I've done is I've stopped before I hit the send button.
Yes.
And I read what I've written.
Right. Especially now that people can bring back up those emails. Hint.
Okay.
Well, listen, even once you hit delete, that email can be brought back up.
And everything doesn't deserve a response.
Everything does not deserve a response.
And so you erase it.
That's right.
And you either just address exactly what it is that they're looking for.
Right.
Or don't respond at all.
I think responding out of emotion is something that it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction, right? So whether you get an email that sets you off, or someone said something to you, or you see something, a lot of times if you feel yourself responding out of emotion, try to find out those triggers for yourself so that you can manage a pause, a stop, or wait a minute, or go sit down, or go take a breather, go take a walk, because you need that minute to gather yourself so that you can respond in the most helpful way, right? What are you trying to get accomplished with your response? Because sometimes we just trying to get that blowback.
Trying to get back to you.
Yeah.
And if you have a trusted mentor or a trusted coworker that you could say, hey, listen, I'm feeling a little something about this email. Can you read it? And what does it sound like to you? And again, everything is left up to interpretation. And maybe you express to them, this is how I feel about it.
Right.
But they have to be someone that is willing to challenge you on that and say, listen, don't hit the send button.
Yeah. Chris just said, before you hit send, rethink. That's good. That's good. That's good. Angela Smith is here. Thank you for joining. And Val is here. Valerie Hardy. Yes. You gotta know your triggers. Absolutely. You gotta know your triggers. And sometimes, it takes us a while sometimes to learn that, because sometimes you need someone who you respect, who is close to you, that can say, you know what? Can you watch out for this next time? Everybody needs that close circle that can check you.
Yeah.
Whether it's a counselor, a coach, a good friend, your spouse, whoever. I always tell Chris, I was like, before I go out the door, don't have me going out there looking crazy.
Yes.
Right? We all need a check. And if something is going on, we talk to each other about how to respond to certain things. You always need that kind of extra voice, because when you're emotional, when you're angry, when you're upset, when you're just all in tears and you can't get yourself together, sometimes you're responding without thinking. And that's dangerous.
It is.
Because once you're releasing it to the atmosphere, it's hard to bring that thing back.
It's out there.
And if you're not careful, what you must do then is cast something else out to cancel it out. We're in this cancel culture, right?
Yeah.
So cancel some of these words you don't put out there.
Yeah.
Cancel some of those words about people in your life, how you view people, view things. You gotta cancel it if you didn't put the right thing out there.
Yeah.
So listen, we have got to speak life. I'm so glad that you all tuned in with us on our opening.
Thank you. We're so excited.
Our next episodes, we're going to be talking about things not to say in the workplace and things not to say with your partner or people that you love. So you've got to make sure that you tune in, like and share. Make sure you spread the word about the Chair Chronicles podcast. It's all things about life talks.
That's right.
We're doing this thing, and season 2 is going to be off the chain. So listen, thank you so much for joining in with us. We appreciate you so much. As always, we want you to live your best life and always stay tuned and stay connected on the Chair Chronicles.